this is Golden Heroes. I believe this is issue number 8. If I look at my notes, which I hurriedly wrote down on a piece of paper. So this is episode 8, and this is going to be effectively Strikeback. I guess this is sort of session 1.5, because if you remember last time, you had taken possession of the Eagle's Nest, having defeated the alien horror that had been trapped in the base for some 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And as you were, with it literally minutes, an hour after all of that had calmed down and you were recovering and exploring the base, if you recall, a silver sphere had appeared in midair in front of you. And it then was replaced by once you got over your shock, it was replaced by a book-sized metal block. And then you heard a telepathic message, and I will just repeat it just so that we're all up to speed. The telepathic message had said, I am Unit 54BG. Good day. Please stand by for an important announcement. And you heard a message from the voice of a woman who had told you that that the box was an organic computer and time machine, and that the message you were hearing had been recorded in the year, or their year, 3936. But by your reckoning, this was the year 8457 AD. And she went on to explain that at that point, human civilizations fighting for its survival against a foe determined to extinguish all life. The humans had discovered time travel technique, which had enabled them to then turn the tide. But the enemy had captured a time machine, duplicated the humans' method, and they had detected an enemy robot traveling back in time past the current era, which for you is 1984. And its time travel journey had terminated in the recent past, by your reckoning, estimated to be the end of the 19th century or thereabouts. And she went on to explain that although their time machines are capable of such a journey, but no human from their era would be able to withstand the contra-evolutionary pressure that it would subject them to. And so any human that they tried sending back from the year 8457 would end up as a mindless ape, unable to do anything. So as a result, they have sent this computer back to what they perceive to be some of the greatest heroes of the era, which is yourselves, and have asked you to take on a mission to try and basically protect humanity's future. She's reluctant to give you too much detail because of the implications for interfering with history, but she suspects that the mission involves this alien computer exerting some subtle interference on human evolution or progress. And so as you digested this message, the computer, the silver box was replaced, but it sort of shifted, and it took on the aspect of a cartoon mouse who identified himself as Benji. And this cartoon mouse literally, to all intents and purposes, is an animated mouse standing sort of 4 feet tall in front of you. He went on to bizarrely almost fangirl a bit over you, suggesting that he knows more about your possible future than certainly than you do, and that he was unwilling to reveal. He did make reference to the bear, if you remember that as well. And so he's standing in front of you and has asked you if you're ready to assist him. So over to you to have you can have a chat about it if you want to decide whether you want to go along with him or not. Obviously this has come as a bit of a shock, and it seems like they may have slightly misjudged the timings, because again, you've literally come out of this battle and this has been put in front of you, and you suspect they probably intended maybe to catch you, at a time when, maybe slightly further up the timeline. But regardless, again, this 4-foot cartoon mouse is standing in front of you. His cape billowing, which is odd because there's no wind in the in the base, but his cape is giving the illusion of billowing anyway. So
I thought we hadn't captured the bear when
well, exactly. You haven't
during
captured the bear, and that's exactly the thing.
We haven't yet. We've still got to go back for that brown bear that's escaped the zoo.
Yep.
Yes, his comments suggest that maybe the brown bear has more evidence than we might have expected. But anyway, I think he then realised that he may have said too much, and he sort of clammed up a bit after that. But anyway, so he says, if you, he's like, are you ready? Call me Benji. He says, call me Benji, and I'm sure we're going to enjoy working together. As soon as you're ready, I'll start the time jump. Now, you may not be ready to jump straight into this, of course, because again, you probably could use a sandwich or something. I don't know. So it's up to you, really. But as I say, he's just standing there in front of you. Now, interestingly, he doesn't seem to move, other than again this sort of animated aspect that he has, and you suspect that maybe this is simply some sort of a holographic projection, so that he's actually still the computer device, the actual time machine that you saw, but he's obviously able to take on a different aspect in front of you. So over to you guys. Does anyone have anything they want to ask him, or do you want to do anything in preparation, or are you willing to help the humans of the future?
I just want to discuss, why is it safe for us to travel back in time? Is it because we're closer to Neanderthals? I mean, what's the deal with that?
The impression you got from what he'd said, what the recorded message had told you, was that because you are much closer. So basically, as the message described it, contra-evolutionary pressure. So basically, the further through time that you travel, the less good it is for you. So in your case, you're only being asked to travel about, what did we say, 84? So 80, 90 years, something like that. Whereas they'd be traveling 8,500 years from the future. So for you, it's a very short time jump, perfectly safe. Well, so they say. Whereas a human whereas they could send their own agents from the future, but the problem with that is they would end up back in time as a mindless, beast, basically. So, but it's a fair question, because again, you're only taking this, animated mouse at his word.
It's definitely a trap.
And interestingly, he just stands there. He's not. He's again. He's literally standing in the pose you can see on the screen there, where he's got his hands on his hips and his cape billowing, and his eyes blink occasionally. But you suspect they're just there to make it look less unnerving.
Why does he look like Mighty Mouse?
Well, probably. Well, again, good question. You can ask him.
Do you think you could take Superman in a fight?
Apart from the fact he can't move.
Oh yeah.
As far as you know, he's literally stationary because he's a box, or rather a metal. Yeah, it was described as a book-sized metal block. But as I say, you suspect this is probably just a projection.
So the 3:34 from Aintree for Saturday. You don't know who's going to win, do you?
He sort of looks at you. Oh, hello. Someone's just. I love that. There you go. That's much better.
Awesome.
He looks at you and he says, "Oh, come on, guys. I can't tell you anything like that. I can't break the timeline."
You've already broken it, mate. You've just travelled back in time.
I know, but won't it be fun to go on a mission together and save the human race? That's what you guys do, right? You're famous for it. Certainly where I come from. All of you, Batman, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. Oh, you mean you're not those guys? Oh, hang on a minute.
I don't know whether it's wise or not, but I don't have plans for this evening, so I'm up for a bit of adventure.
What year are we going back to?
Okay, so he says, oh, well, I'm not entirely sure, but our reading suggests it seems to be December 1899 is where we're headed. Is it possible? Do you have any clothing for that period? Because he looks at you, and obviously you're all obviously when your Super Nero outfits. So, but again, you haven't. You could explore the base, because again, you haven't. Again, this is just to reiterate. This is all happening. I'm going to say let's say a couple of hours. So basically, there's still DICE agents kind of carting away some of the shock troopers, and there's cleanup going on and stuff happening. But basically, this is literally only a few hours after your your battle, but you haven't really had a chance to explore at the base. So I guess you could, if you wished, have a look around, see if you could find clothing, or again, if you're happy, you can just go ahead without it. I don't suppose it's really up to you how you want to
Did you
play.
say 1899?
He said 1899. So yeah, Victorian.
What
late
month?
Victorian.
What month?
December.
December.
You still use months now, right?
And you're
Is that how you still have that calendar, right? Where you have months? It's my database says December.
And you
It's like the
definitely
most boring month
wouldn't go near Paris.
in British history.
Say again.
You definitely
It's
wouldn't
like
go
the
near
most
Paris.
boring month in British history.
No.
Nothing cool's gonna happen.
No,
not as far as you know, apart from
and
obviously the end of the century. But
there is a. You definitely wouldn't go near Paris.
Why? What happens in Paris in 1899?
I can't go back to Paris 1899.
Oh,
Long story. Anyway,
of course,
He's done it all before, hasn't he? This old geezer over here has done it all before.
You're an
I'm 300
immortal.
years old. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anywhere but Paris, 1899.
No, I don't think he said. I don't think it's Paris. No, I'm sure it's not Paris. My database. No, it's definitely not Paris.
Oh, good. Oh, okay. I'm up for that then.
Do you guys have like Easter outfits or something? Because that's December, right? Easter. Yeah, you could.
Yeah. Let's go. Let's just let's jump in his little widget.
Widget. It's like
widget.
this is the Mark 74 time machine built by Hans Gruber. You're calling it a widget? Have you know we spent months coming up with a name of that? Oh, it's jumping a widget.
Sadly, he doesn't. He's not really a very cool time machine because again, his actual form is, as I say, is essentially it's like a metal book. We'll call it a book because it's book size with a carrying handle on it. And so basically, he says, "Okay." He said, "Great guys, I knew you'd be willing to help us. Okay, so all you have to do is if one of you holds it, and basically as he talks, the image of him shimmers away as the mouse, and you're left with just this metal book / block. But you hear his voice. His voice is still carries, and he says, "Oh, one of you takes the handle, and then the rest of you just hold on to each other. That's it. And he waits for you all to be grasping him. Before we do this, though, does anyone have anything they want to take with them, or are you just taking what you're carrying? Because obviously, I'm assuming Captain Sonar's still got between you've still got your ice cannon, right? The because again, this is.
Oh no, it's the 80s, isn't it? Forget that. I was going to say, do we have access to our mobile phones? Clearly not.
That's the 80s. This is 84.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming you all have all your equipment, and so for example, obviously cricket bats, etc., are all with you, as I'm sure they would be.
We have got Frostrom's gun.
Frost cannon. Yeah.
And Overlord didn't have anything, did he? No, that was built in. Force built in. No, just a suit of armor that's useful.
Yeah, I mean, you've got most of your abilities are all inherent, right? So none of you have got, apart from obviously, Faye Strike's got her bow, which again, I'm assuming she'll take, and
to me.
Obviously Hyde has got his cricket bat, which I'm assuming is probably he probably straps to his back or whatever. If he's not, he's probably got some cool holster on his back, which he carries it in. But the point, basically, we'll assume you have all your gear with you, carrying.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
won't bring back lunches or anything like that with us, so we've got nothing of that ilk to take. So we'll just have to hope this.
Yeah, I mean, you've just literally, again, I mean, I guess, I mean, if you want to delay, for a few minutes to grab a sandwich or something. I mean, again, this base has been unoccupied for 20 years, but I'm sure that the dice or the submarine, again, he's eminently patient. This computer called Benji. If you want to go off and.
But he literally has all the time in the world.
He literally has all the time in the world. So if you want to, go use the loo, I'll assume everyone uses the loo. Use the loo. Go back to the submarine. Crib a sandwich or something. Whatever.
Surely the pipe's been backed up by now.
Yeah.
All that time under sea.
Yeah.
Well, I found this tin of Spam. It's dated 1962. I'm not sure if it's going to be still edible.
Do not let the dragon use the loo.
Oh, good point. Yeah. So yeah, we don't want to go anywhere near that. So basically, after you go off and do whatever you need to do, no problem. All of that, we'll assume you do all of that, and so you're at least comfortable. So you all regroup, and again, you grab the machine, and instantly, you appear in basically woods. So you literally, it's quite. To be honest, time travel's slightly disappointing. There's no kind of whirling tunnels of light or anything. You 1 minute you're in the base, you feel a slight discomfort, a slight shift of your perception, and then the next minute you are in the woods. You're instantly struck by the smell of pine and grass. It seems to be late in the day. You're not. Again, it's December, so he's told you. So it's slightly chilly, but it's a bright, it's sort of a late afternoon, clear day, quite cold. But literally, you're assailed by all of your senses are hit by all of these different perceptions instantly. Again, 1 minute you were one place, next minute you're somewhere else, and again, you take a minute to, and you all have a slight feeling as if you've had a good night the night before, so you've got a vague hangover, a slight headache. But
are we wearing our normal clothes?
Exactly, yeah. You're all just wearing your normal gear, so you're all wearing your normal gear, and as you kind of refocus on where you are, you note that the image of Benji Mouse has now changed to the image of a small Victorian or a small boy in what looks to be a Victorian sailor suit, carrying a balloon for no apparent reason.
A red balloon.
A red balloon. I'm sure that's not significant.
Steve,
and when
Steve, is it safe to say we've not just travelled through time, but we've travelled a distance as well? We're not in the same location.
Absolutely. So whereas you were previously under the sea off the coast of the UK, this is obviously you're clearly inland. You're in forest. There's no sign of the ocean anywhere. You're not obviously not 100% sure of your location, but again, pine, etc., suggests you may be in Europe somewhere.
I'll sniff the air and say, "Yeah, it's definitely not Paris."
Yeah.
Well, who's this?
Well, and they say this is basically this is the image of the computer. This is Benji, but he's sort of reformatted himself to look, strangely less out of place in this era. But it's still him, and he says, "Hey guys, that was great to hear."
So a bunch of old-looking weird dudes are going to be walking around with a child and holding a balloon.
It's 1899. It's fine. It's 1899. It's fine. And to make things even weirder, don't forget you have to carry him because he can't move because he's actually a box.
You have to carry him.
So there's going to be some older dudes carrying him around. Yeah,
I'm going to cast flight.
Well, you probably suggest to him and just say, I tell you what, Benji, why don't you just drop the disguise and just stick with the book? Because that's easier to explain, is you carrying a book around than it is carrying around a small child, So he says, yeah, sure thing. And he dispels that image and there's just you see the silver box basically on the ground. But he can still talk to you because, again, you suspect his communication is telepathic. Because again, you hear him equally as clearly whether he's in this image or not. So,
Steve,
right. So sorry, Kevin. Yes.
What year did Terminator come out? The first Terminator.
84.
Kevin, question
84? 85.
Yeah,
84.
85. Oh yeah, this is
1984.
a complete rip-off of Terminator.
Oh, I'm sure because this was written in.
The first person I see, I want to say to them, "Give me your clothes,
your motorcycle." Now. Perfect.
Actually, you need to do that definitely before they even speak. You need to do that in that accent.
That's the aim. As long as we find someone.
Yeah, definitely in the Austrian accent.
Okay,
we
so
don't know what country you're in yet, do we?
No, you don't.
No.
You're just in, as far as you can tell, you're in Europe somewhere. Just because it's pine forest, it doesn't feel like UK forest. But other than that, it's hard to tell. Again, it's clearly later in the year. It's again, he's told you it's December. You can feel the chill in the air. You can feel, so that seems right. But anyway, so you're in a clearing, and you can hear there's bird song about, and so you're in a forest basically. So what would you like to do? Because there's no indication of where you should go at this moment. There's no particular indication of what you should do or where you should go. You're just in a clearing.
Can we still talk to Balloon Boy, or
sure? Yeah. Again, you suspect. Yeah. Again, he's regardless of whether he's in his slightly suspect disguise or whether he's the silver box. He's still communicating with you.
I guess I'll ask him if he can confirm that we have made it to the right year, and if so, has he brought us to a particular place?
We're definitely in the right year. I think it's a country you called Australia, or is it Austria? I get those two confused. The map's very different in the map's very different in 8457. Let's go with Austria.
Okay, we are in Austria.
So I will. I think. How many of us can fly?
I think you can fly in your.
I can cast. So who's the least conspicuous? Face Strike. Aren't you wearing green?
I am wearing green. Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to cast. If I say okay, if you hold on to Benji, I'll cast flight on you. If you fly up to the top of the trees, you'll still be in green, so camouflage rather than a dirty big dragon, and have a look round and see if he can triangulate our position if that's possible from where he is.
Awesome.
If you can
So
see the topography.
I've never seen a dragon in a tree, which means that their camouflage must be good as well.
Yes. Although you weren't in Paris in 1899.
I mean, that's true.
Anyway, so I will
fly up to the top of the tree.
So I cast flight.
Pretend you're a plane.
Actually, I cast flight cast flight and invisibility.
Okay.
And then
you can do that.
yes, I cast flight and invisibility, and
win the game, Kevin. Just cast win the game.
I can't do that. I know what's
He
going on.
doesn't need to cast win the game. He just wins by luck, don't you know?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally.
Okay, so you've got. Let's just clarify. So you've got the enhancement spell.
Yeah, which is invisibility and flight.
Speciality. So you can only fly if you're in your dragon form.
Yep.
So that means that's how you fly yourself. You have to change into your dragon form.
Or I cast flight on me.
But with magic, so with enhancement, the magic spell enhancement, so that costs 5 magic points to cast.
Yep.
And it bestows upon the mage or any individual one of the abilities below. So the abilities that you can cast on yourself or others are as follows: speed, invisibility, flight, combat skill. So essentially it grants like martial arts, strength, and also regeneration. So I'm going to just make a little note. It's going to cost you 5. So you're going to cast it on Face Strike, okay?
Yep.
Okay, so just bear with me. I've got a little sheet here which I can use. So that's 5 points is what it costs you to cast it initially. And it costs you an additional 5 per round. But you obviously, so it's good enough to...
You're going to go
waft her up to the top of the trees.
Yeah.
And okay, so you're up at the top of the tree, right? So at the top of the tree, Face Strike, you can see that the woods they stretch out all around you. You think, and I'm just having a look at your, because you have, if I remember rightly, you've got heightened senses, grade 2, which is you. So one of your senses is animal senses. You also had one sense that you hadn't specified. Yeah. So basically, what animal senses do for you is it essentially means you have all the normal senses, but they are superhumanly acute. So you have, you can hear a twig crack at 50 meters or spot a leaf moving. And that gives you the ability. It's almost impossible for you to be surprised because you will hear people coming before you see them and so on. But you also have a free slot which you haven't specified. So if you wanted to do so, you could plump for telescopic vision, which allows you to see anything which is not beyond the horizon. So that
Certainly sounds like a good plan for right now.
That would be useful for right now. But obviously, if you pick that, then that will be your choice, and that will be what you're stuck with. So it's up to you. But it's up, if you're happy with that, I'll make the amendments. But does that seem useful?
I like that, definitely.
Okay, so I'll just make a note. Okay, fine. So you at the top of the tree, and your heightened vision, heightened senses. So again, you hear the sounds of life all around you in the forest. Animals and birds and so on. So there's nothing suspicious. It's not deathly quiet or anything. It just seems like a normal forest. And as you peer,
are we just in the middle of a forest?
Say that again.
Are we just in the middle of a forest?
Just in the middle of a forest. But as you with your heightened eyesight, Face Strike, you can see what looks to be in the distance. You can see what looks like you can see a city in the distance, which you suspect could very well be could be Vienna.
I'm gonna call down the tree, guys. I think I can see the Eiffel Tower.
Cool.
All of a sudden, the dragon flies off. Never seen it again.
At 60 foot in the air, the spell goes.
I'm gonna call down to the guys what I can see.
Okay, but what as you're up there observing, you also hear. Your kind of hearing kicks in, and you hear what sounds like the sounds of a struggle nearby.
Ooh.
You can hear the sounds of like people, like exertion, of like as if there's a fight. Nothing weird, but just like as if there's a fight.
Grunting in the woods.
Grunting in the woods. Yeah. All right. Let's just get that one out of the way right now. Okay. But yeah, it sounds to you like there's a fight happening nearby. You can tell where it's coming from. You can't see anything because again, it's much closer than it's probably, I don't know, a few hundred meters away. But yeah, your senses are such that for sure that you can sort of float down again and say, guys, there's a fight happening. And you sort of dash off into the woods and head in the direction if that's what you wish to do.
Yep. I'm going to call down. There's a fight happening. And just let them know everything that I can hear. Cool. I don't know who's fighting, what they're fighting about, but it's definitely more interesting than being stuck in the forest.
There you go.
Europeans, they're always fighting.
Okay, so do we want to go and investigate?
Definitely.
Yes.
Yep.
Right. So you head off in the direction indicated by Face Strike, and as you come through the woods. Obviously, one of you, whoever, it doesn't really matter who, but one of you be carrying Benji. We'll call him Benji for this. Just so I don't keep calling him the metal box. We'll call him Benji. So you head through the woods, and as you come into a clearing, and as you enter a clearing, you can see a single figure, a lone guy being attacked by several rough-looking fellows. I think there's actually 4 of them. If I remember rightly, and he's basically struggling with these. He's clearly outnumbered, and you can see that a couple of them are carrying automatic weapons. They're carrying what look like pistols. I mean, again, this is 1899, so they do have automatic pistols, but they're probably Mausers or something like that. And he seems to be, as I say, he's kind of fighting with them, but he's clearly outnumbered. So what would you like to do? I'll just go around the group, because obviously I'm not going to make you roll for initiative here, because apart from anything else, you've got you've got surprise, and B, I think you probably pretty clearly outmatched these guys. But we'll just go around the group and see how you want to play it. So Captain Sonar, you have the highest dexterity, so you can act first.
Okay, cool. So as soon as we get through into the clearing, I'm going to pull out my ice cannon and I'm just going to shout, "Freeze!"
That's never going to get old, is it?
No, we've got to send out, I forgot his name, Hyde first, because Hyde has to say the line.
No, he can say it in a minute. I haven't frozen. No, I'm just standing there.
Oh yeah, we'll get to it. Don't you worry. Okay, so you come. The 4 of you come. breaking into this clearing, and again, these guys are struggling with this guy, and obviously they see you emerge because you know they can't really miss you. Four of you come charging out of the brush, and so yeah, you step forward with your ice cannon and you level this weapon at them. And again, you know, you say freeze, or you could go with, you know, chill out or something like that, and whatever. Freeze works. And they are certainly distracted. They all sort of turn to you, and the guy who's being ganged up on, he takes his opportunity, and he sort of spins round and gives one a nice right hook to the chin. And one of the assailants drops like a sack of potatoes to the ground.
Queensby rules.
He's just taken his opportunity, and he gives him a nice right cross, and this guy drops like a stone. The others are kind of slightly confused about what to do. Again, you've got this, you know, odd-looking weapon pointing out, but clearly it's a weapon. So we'll come back to you in a sec. So, Phase Strike, what would you like to do, or is there anything you want to do, or?
Not really. I'm just going to take my bow off my back and hold it ready.
So, Phase Strike, you need to pick a version of Arnold Schwarzenegger to be. So, Jason has gone for Mr. Freeze in the Batman Forever movie.
Yeah.
I've obviously gone for Terminator. So yeah, there's loads. There's Kindergarten Cop.
Kindergarten. There's twins. You know, any of those.
Yeah.
True. Do you know, I've suddenly discovered that I can't remember any Arnold Schwarzenegger movies.
Well, he was
on the spot.
What was
I've got one. Hang on.
He played a superhero in that, didn't he?
Hold on, I've got one.
Yeah.
So what you want to do is you want to shoot an arrow at one of them, pin them to a tree trunk, and go stick around.
Nice.
Excellent. Yes. However,
Okay, so I'll let you do that. So you just
do it so it goes through their clothes, but doesn't actually pierce them.
Exactly. I'm not even going to make you roll for it because it's just a cool move. So again, you just like whip your bow out, you knock an arrow, shoot it, and one of the guys, you basically your arrow goes through his sleeve, and he's pinned to a tree trunk, and goes stick around.
Excellent. Stick around.
I was hoping somebody would go for I like you, Solly. That's why I'm going to kill you last. But you know. Okay, so
I
next up,
I was trying to look for instances of Arnold Schwarzenegger using a bow and arrow, but the only one was Conan the Barbarian.
Conan the Barbarian.
Did he not use one in Commando? Possibly. I can't remember. He used every weapon in Commando, so he must have used one in. He certainly used like a chains, like a buzzsaw, didn't he? And a rocket launcher, and a few others. So next up, we've got Anorin. So you're next. Again, at the moment, you're in your human form.
I'm tempted to turn to a dragon and say get into the chopper, but won't because I want to preserve my magic points. So I'm going to I'm just stand there, do nothing, hold my action.
No, that's fine. And then Hyde, over to you. So you're and again you're are you in your, I guess you're probably in your heightened form, are you, or are you in your normal form at the moment?
I'm probably in my normal form at the minute.
Okay.
But ready to pop some serum to enhance whenever time
Right,
calls.
you got to give us the line though. You got to walk over to one of them. Your clothes, give them to me now.
Okay, well, maybe I do pop the serum, and as I'm transforming, that's when I'm like, give me your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle.
Motor what? I don't know what to make it. Your what? Motor what? Okay, so basically these guys are absolutely they really don't know what the hell's going on here. So like one of them's pinned to a tree. If the others are kind of one's been knocked to the ground. The other two look at each other in the face of the four of you, and they just run into the woods. So the gentleman who was being attacked, he kind of watches them retreat, and he very calmly straightens his. He's wearing like a tweed suit and a deerstalker hat, as you can see from the image. And he straightens his clothing, and he he looks at the gentleman who's pinned to the tree, and he satisfies himself. It appears that this gentleman he's not going anywhere because you've got him through his like a jump, like his sort of jumper sleeve or something, and he's securely pinned. And then he then sort of turns his gaze upon the four of you, and he says, "Well, my thanks for your assistance. Things were looking a little hairy there for a moment."
I'll introduce myself as Eastwood, Clint Eastwood.
Oh, now we're doing Back to the Future.
Yeah. We'll do our time travel movies.
Excellent. Let's do it. That's great.
I'll be Calvin Klein then.
Well, then
Calvin
you can
Klein.
just call me the Doc.
He says, well, I must admit, when I set out upon this enterprise this morning, I did not expect to encounter time travelers.
I beg your pardon? Bueller. Ferris Bueller.
Well, whatever your name may be, Mr. Bueller, it is indisputable that you are not of this era.
You weren't in Paris last month, were you?
I have been in Paris, but not last month.
I think didn't they?
Ferris Bueller is literally the only one in our party that dresses like he's living in 1899.
That's true, because he has at some point.
Yes.
He says, the gentleman looks at you again. He sort of regards you, and he says, it's clear to me. It's a mere trifle for me to determine that you, not from this era. Take, for example, the manufacture of your clothing, and he points at he says, this fabric is not of contemporary design. Neither are the methods used in the manufacture of your footwear and your other accoutrements. It says it is a favourite axiom of mine to assert that whenever one eliminates all other factors, then whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth. So therefore, it is elementary to me to establish that you are in fact time travellers.
So Steve, out of game, how would our characters have any knowledge of Sherlock Holmes as a real or fictional character, or not? Is he a famous?
My feeling is Kevin may want to. I know Kevin would like to pitch in on this because this is his kind of ballpark. My feeling is that it was a real, a famous detective, because I think he's in our world he's a fictional detective, but I think in this world he was a genuine.
Yeah.
He probably was, let's call him. He was probably a Victorian superhero. I mean, the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen obviously was a thing, but in my head, Sherlock Holmes was a real, legendary detective, and of course it's clear that this is Sherlock Holmes. He hasn't identified himself as such, but clearly it's Sherlock Holmes.
So, in terms of people that were detectives of fame at the time, there's the original French guy whose name escapes me, Holmes, but more likely you'd think he's Sergeant Cuff, because Sergeant Cuff is the main character from the best-selling book, the Moonstone from Wilkie Collins, and what's his name? Dickens used a version of Cuff as well. So it's how famous he is versus how famous other detectives are at the time.
In my head, he's probably more famous because, of course, he caught Jack the Ripper. So So depending on which novels you've read of Sherlock Holmes, he also was well renowned for solving Jack the Ripper, which in this period that you're in is about 10 years ago. It was 1885, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that's about 10 years ago. So he's. I mean, again, he hasn't identified himself as such yet. But again, to those of you who know anything about, you will have seen illustrations of him. And I mean, he's wearing the deerstalker, he's wearing the tweed suit and the coat, and he's, literally, he's talking like Sherlock Holmes. He's using Sherlock Holmes' most famous.
So in that case, I'll look at him and say, let me try the same deductive methods on you. Are you Sergeant Lestrade?
He sort of looks you up and down. He says, I see you fancy yourself a man of wit, my friend. Clearly, you have recognised me for who I am. Sherlock Holmes at your disposal. Disposal.
Start looking around for his sidekick.
If you're looking for Dr. Watson, I'm afraid he remained in London. His health is not the greatest at this point. I was myself in Vienna, in fact, and he gestures in the direction that Face Strike knows you saw the city. He says, I was led here from Vienna, where I was actually visiting with my good friend Dr. Freud. You may have heard of him. Dr. Freud has been a friend of mine for years. In fact, he helped me overcome certain, shall we say, weaknesses in my character. Which obviously you will, again, if you know anything about history, you would know he's not playing the violin badly.
The violin playing.
He had obviously he was alleged to have cured Holmes of his cocaine addiction.
Yeah.
Although that was I think an issue that recurred throughout his career. But anyway, he says, and I was visiting with my good friend Dr. Freud when he advised me that one of his patients, and in fact one of his close friends, a renowned physicist from the Vienna Institute, had disappeared without trace, and my instincts were piqued, shall we say. I had made an investigation, and I had found a certain medallion that had been overlooked by the police. The Vienna police are functional, but unimaginative, shall we say? Much like the good Inspector Lestrade that you mentioned earlier. And I located this object and had taken it to a jeweler to have it identified. When these ruffians had begun to trail me, so I'd led them out of the city in an attempt to throw them off my trail, but they'd ambushed me. So I'm certainly, grateful for your intervention. I'm sure I could have handled them, eventually, but I certainly welcome your assistance. Now, tell me, why are you here, and what on earth brings travellers from an indeterminate point in the future to wood outside Vienna in 1899?
I ran out of Vienna Wells, so I've come to
Viennese Wells.
Mature centres. I don't know. We really don't know. Vienna. Just me. Just me.
Oh, Vienna.
I believe we have been sent by. How much are we going to tell him? Literally, how much do we want to? Obviously, Sherlock Holmes. Don't tell him anything.
Don't forget. You can converse. You can converse with Benji telepathically, because again, he's communicating with you, so you can kind of have a conversation with Benji without him hearing you. Essentially,
I dropped. That's a pain. I dropped thingamajig, hypnosis.
and again, yeah, that's right. I don't think any of you you haven't got hypnosis, have you? I mean, I suppose, it's not one of your enhancements.
I've got it. So I'm going to use
probability manipulation.
I can use a probability manipulation in which he has heard of the Welsh Druid and Iron, and he vaguely knows of me and my exploits, and therefore I'm going to tell him I've come back to retrieve. I'm going to. No, that's too early. I've come back to retrieve the Spear of Destiny.
Just point out that lying to Sherlock Holmes doesn't usually play out the way you think it's going to.
Well, let's. I can turn it into a dragon. But this is my luck. So
to be fair, you can try the again. You can try the luck thing, because you're. I mean, obviously you're right. You have that ability, so yeah, go for it. You can.
I've been around 300 years.
Come on, make him roll the dice. Logic beats luck.
Yeah, 39%. 39%. Oh,
46. 46 for the 4 came out first.
So that's not good enough, I'm afraid.
Oh, fuck yeah, they're still not good.
So he
He's like, never heard of you. Well, I've been around 300 years.
he says, I consider myself to be well informed and well travelled, but I don't believe I've had the pleasure. Now at this point, Benji, you hear the voice of Benji kind of wafting through your collective brains. He's obviously talking. He can talk to all of you. He says, "If I were you guys, I'd go with him. Just a hint. I can't tell you the future, but trust me on this one. I think you really need to go with this guy and help him out. Yeah, trust me. It would be the right thing to do. We're here for a reason. Let's put it that way."
Yeah, but do we actually know why we are here, other than we need to save the world?
So all you've been told is that some sort of time traveling a machine, a robot, as it was described to you. Now, bearing in mind this was written in 1984, so robot. We probably wouldn't use the term robot now, but the description was that a robot has been sent back through time from the far future, with the intention of doing something to mess with the victory of the humans in the far future. So very much Terminator plot line. But all you know is that this device had been sent back through time to round about this era, which is why you've been brought here. But other than that, all you know is you're trying to find this machine and do what you have to stop it. But other than that, you don't really know much else. You don't know what the machine looks like. You don't know.
I would tell Holmes as much, but slightly more vague than how vague that is, so that we have been sent back in time to follow another time traveler who has come to disrupt the future.
Okay, that's good. Well, he says fascinating. He says, well, I have my mission. I have given my word to my good friend Dr. Freud to try and find out what has happened to his friend and other scientists who have apparently gone missing from the Vienna Institute and from other reputable institutions throughout Europe. So, if our missions align, then I suggest we pool our resources.
Dr. Holmes, we seem to have been pulled to this point. I don't think it is a coincidence. Maybe our paths are aligned. So we should indeed join
interesting.
up.
This is right. He pulls out of his pocket a small golden, for want of a better word, medallion. It's larger than a coin. But he says this is the item that I discovered at the Institute. Do any of you
have a look?
And he hands it over to you, and you see that it is a
aluminium.
It's a pog.
It's
a pog. Yeah, that would be funny if this whole thing is it's a pog.
It's a Tesco supermarket.
Charity token.
It's a trolley token. It's a trolley token. That's what we're going.
But he said he shows it to you, and on it clearly you see an image that all of you would probably recognise, although you may not understand the significance. And what it is basically it is a truncated pyramid with an eye floating above it, and which I will just tell you is the symbol of the Illuminati.
Yeah.
Mm.
So the Illuminati are an underground. I don't know what you'd call them, an organisation, I guess.
Yeah.
Who seeks some sort of control.
It's the shadow government.
The shadow government. There you go. Right. And they have the
Build-A-Bear group.
Build-A-Bear group. They have or they're reputed or rumored to have agents in places of power throughout the world. So throughout history, some prominent scientists and politicians and financial leaders were rumored to be members of the Illuminati. So, and generally their reputation is one that is not good. Let's say, in other words, their view of how the world should be run does not normally right thinking people. So,
the telepathy. We can communicate to Benji and with and all of us.
Yes, but Holmes doesn't hear any of your conversation. So what Benji has related to you, i.e., because again, he's still cagey about telling you to, because again, he come from the future. So, but he said, this is where you need to be. And Holmes has been brought to this point by this medallion from the Illuminati. And clearly the fact that he's been, as you said, clearly the fact that he's been ambushed and nearly beaten, nearly killed by this group of men suggests he's probably on the right track. Now, I remind you that you have a prisoner. So this guy is still pinned to the tree, and he's been sort of discreetly trying to get out of his because he's got his jumpers pinned. But obviously, I'm assuming with you all around him, if he makes any move to sort of take slip out of his jumper and run away, one of you will kind of restrain him.
Steve, he's quite a burly guy, isn't he? I think I will take his clothes, his boots.
Yeah.
And I doubt he's got
his penny farthing.
I'll take his clothing so that I.
Perfect. Yeah. Well, you say he strips down to his fetching Victorian long johns. I mean, he nearly faints from the shame of the fact that there's a woman in the clearing. And for her to see him in a state of undress is too much for him to, even this burly thug of the Illuminati can barely tolerate the fact that a woman sees him in a state of undress. So, that's probably your biggest weapon against him. Your biggest way to interrogate him is get Face Strike to go near him. He's like, oh my goodness!
Show me your ankles.
He's probably been staring at you. He's probably been staring at you because she has trousers on.
He's seen more than my ankles, I should think.
I'll remind everyone not to tell Holmes that the Illuminati is still around in our era.
Yeah, good point.
Because the futility of fighting, you go, well, what's the point in fighting if 100 years' time they still exist? So,
obviously, the Illuminati then probably just changed their approach.
They took over the American government and the banks and shit,
and put a puppet president in charge. That could never happen, could it? No, that couldn't happen. Okay, so so do you want to interrogate this guy, or have you got any abilities? I'm just having a quick look, because obviously initially,
being slightly intimidating.
Oh, absolutely. Well, like I say, you've got various options at your disposal. So, like I say, on the one hand, you've got Face Strike, who could probably make him pass out just by standing next to him. Obviously, you've got Captain Sonar's got various technological, weapons
to freeze his toes off.
Yeah, but would it be simpler if Hyde just walked up to him and smashed his kneecaps with a cricket bat and say, "Talk"?
I think that's certainly a way of intimidating him. Yeah.
I'm not
is there anything in his pockets, like notes or instructions?
There's some. Okay, so you're searching through his gear because obviously you're now wearing his clothes, and he's basically had on. He's got like a kind of a jacket and jumper and work. We call them jeans. I don't know if they were called jeans back then. But they were like thick material work trousers, heavy boots, all of which suits your image pretty well. So searching through his material, all you really find is you find a cigarette case, like a very plain, cheap cigarette case with a few cigarettes in it, and they're if you want to look at them closely, they're Austrian cigarettes, nothing unusual about them. Again, Holmes looks at them and sort of he picks one off you and says, "May I?" And he sort of holds it to his nose and he says, "Yes, local blend. I wrote a monograph on the subject, don't you?" He puts it back into the case and he says, nothing unusual there.
I'm going to say to the guy pinned to the tree, look, we can do this the easy way or the fun way for me. Who are you? Who sent you? Because I don't think we've actually asked him, have we?
No. He says, who are you? And interestingly, you think he's speaking in presumably in Austrian, but it appears that Benji is also interpreting for you telepathically. So although you can hear him in the background, you hear him speaking in Austrian, but you hear the words as English. So Benji is also capable of he's like the TARDIS, really, So he's capable of translating. So you hear him quite clearly. He says, who are you? He says, where have you come from? And why do you allow a woman to walk around dressed like this? Points at Face Strike.
I'm going to slap him around the face for that because.
Do so, yeah, please. You can make a whack. She struck me.
Woman.
Control your woman. Oh, that's asking for trouble.
Woman.
I'll say best. Yeah, better the woman than the dragon, and just laugh. Yeah. Who are you?
Don't forget, you've also got claws. You've got the claw. So you could probably, kind of, you sort of slash it, inches above his head, and sort of put a great big slash through the tree trunk or something to.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Him.
I'll do that. Say no one controls this woman.
Right, I'll tell you what we're going to do then. Now, admittedly, you're what's his? Okay. Give me a D20, would you? Just roll me a D20.
With me a second. I'll get my mouse over there. There you go.
Okay, and I'm going to do one for him.
Slash the tree, bounces off. Get myself.
Okay, so he sort of holds his composure. Well, I mean, I say he holds his composure. Again, he's clearly rattled because again, there's like fragments of bark sort of dropping onto his head. But he still seems to be possibly more frightened of the consequences than he is, at least yet.
Yeah.
But he certainly looks unnerved by this because again, you're already exhibiting traits that he's not familiar with, he's not seen before. Again, your accuracy with the bow and obviously the clearly advanced technology, way in advance of what he's familiar with. The ice cannon alone looks intimidating purely because it's, it doesn't look like a Victorian piece of equipment because this is not we're not in a steampunk world. So this looks, clearly he doesn't know how to define the phrase high tech, but it looks high tech to him. And obviously then you've got Hyde, who's, huge and intimidating. And you've got Captain Sonar, who's, again, bristling with, cybernetic arm and everything. So yeah, he's pretty intimidated. So I think he just, okay, so he struggles for a moment, but then he pulls from his pocket and he says, I will tell you nothing. And he throws, he pulls a notebook from his pocket, which he throws to the ground. And Holmes examines it, picks it up, turns it over in his hand, and sort of flicks through it. He says, well, ladies and gentlemen, it seems we have our next point of investigation. And he indicates in the back of the notebook is an address written for a place in Vienna. So this guy's not told you. He's not broken his oath because he's not said.
Okay, so he gave it up, but he wasn't trying to hide the notebook. He was giving it.
He's given it. He's literally given it over because I think he's realised he's in trouble here. But he's tried to hold on. He hasn't verbally
said anything. Yeah, that's fine.
He's tried to hold on to some dignity by not actually telling you, but he's literally given you this notebook. And Holmes, again, Holmes examines it. He pulls out the signature magnifying glass, and he kind of, and he goes, interesting. I've also carried out a monograph study of papers of the world, and indeed this notebook is contemporary and is Viennese manufacture. It goes on for about 5 minutes waffling on about it, but what he basically tells you is that this all seems to be legit. So he says, I believe we have our next clue. What do you suggest we do with this ruffian?
I'd let him go, I think.
What you could do, actually, I guess, Captain Sonar, you could freeze him to the tree, and then the ice will eventually melt, so it's not going to kill him, but it will stop him from blowing the whistle on you. Or you could simply tie him up. You could tie him up, but you could just hit him with a freeze ray. And
if you tied him up, he might not be able to release himself, and he might die here from starvation.
But if you freeze him to the tree, within a few hours, the ice will melt, and he'll be able to escape. But at least it will stop him from raising the alarm.
Give us a head start, wouldn't it?
Yeah. We can freeze him to the tree and hope on the off chance that a bear stumbles by and eats him.
Yeah, there is that. We're back to bears again, aren't we? Bears have got more significance in this world than I considered.
We didn't capture the brown bear. It might have travelled all the way to Vienna by now.
A time-travelling bear. I like that.
Are there bears in Austria?
Oh yeah, we're in 1899.
Well, there are now.
No,
Maybe it's the
black bears,
grandfather of
there
this bear. Maybe this is how we set the chain of events for the bear to
It's like
escape.
a self-fulfilling prophecy. So you create the bear that escapes from.
Presumably, it was a European brown bear that escaped.
Yeah. I think we might be giving this bear more credence than it deserves, but I'll go with it. It's good. Okay, so you can hit him with the freeze ray then, and you sort of free, and his eyes go wide in terror as you shoot this. Again, clearly technology that he's never seen before.
I'm just like spraying him with the ice gun, and he starts freaking out. So I just tell him to chill out.
Chill out. Perfect. Two Arnie references in one scene. Brilliant. Okay, so he's very securely frozen to this tree, so he's not going anywhere for the next few hours. So fine. So you've got an address. So basically, Holmes is he says, well, follow me, my friends. It's a brisk walk, but we should be there. We should be there within the hour.
As we leave, we'll turn to him and say, "Don't worry, we'll be back." I mean, we won't, but
Yeah, but it's too good an opportunity to miss, isn't it?
I know.
Perfect. Right. Okay. So you guys will then follow. So you follow him, and Holmes heads off. Like I say, heads off at a good gentleman's stride through the woods, heading for Vienna. I'm just what Kevin just posted. Dare I look?
That's ChatGPT's version of Hyde in Victorian clothes.
I love that. Look at that. Brilliant. I particularly love the fact that they've got the spikes coming through the top of your hat. That's brilliant. You could certainly pass for a Victorian gentleman in my sure. Love that. Cool. Okay. So yeah, you might want to hide the Union Jack though. That's the only thing.
Yeah. Oh, so the reason why it's 147 years from 1984 is the coronation of Queen Victoria. So that covers you just for the Victorian era. So you don't then go to the Regency era. That's why it's 147 years.
Okay, got it. Cool. Right. So you head off through the woods at a clip. And again, as you walk through the woods begin to thin out, and you approach the outskirts of Vienna. Now, I've never been to Vienna, so I'm just going to I'm sure the woods fall away, and you eventually kind of hit a road. And as you sort of start walking along the road, then there'll be carriages toing and froing. I think we're too early for motorized vehicles. I don't know in version of the Victorian world.
No, there'll be a couple, not many.
Yeah, so there may very well be a couple of oldie worldy steam-driven automobiles plodding up and down. And there's obviously people, and again, as you get nearer to the city, you obviously see more. It's a city. There's more and more people. This is one of the biggest cities in Europe at the time. I think I'm right in saying. And anyway, Holmes almost unerringly seems to know where the address is that you've been directed to. And so he leads you through, and he says, my friends, I suggest we maybe stop for a brief repast before we investigate this address. I know of an excellent bakery 2 streets down from here. I suggest we have a brief repast, take a drink and some food, and we may have a long night ahead of us. And assuming none of you are in disagreement with this,
we have no money. We have no money this year.
My friends, it is a trifle. It would be my honour to treat you after you rescued me from an uncertain fate. I beg your pardon?
I like trifle. I'm going to be disappointed if there is no trifle.
There may very well be. There's bound to be some very nice pastries, though. This is Vienna, so there's bound to be some very nice pastries and some cakes. So he takes you to a cute little, essentially it's a tea room, and obviously your appearance draws some of your appearance draws some interest from the general public. I mean, obviously, Hyde fits in effortlessly with his new outfit. And again, I guess Face Strike and Captain Sonar are probably the two standouts, because I guess Anorin, you're kind of wearing like a cloak, and your clothes are fairly kind of non-specific. But again, the reputation of Holmes, or his confidence, if you like, soon reassures the staff, and they bring over coffee and again a selection of pastries, which are very excellent pastries. And he tells you a bit. He just tells you a bit about his his time with Dr. Freud. He doesn't want to go into too much detail about cocaine addiction, but basically you pass a very pleasant hour or so with Sherlock Holmes, drinking coffee and eating cake. So has anyone got anything they want to ask him? Or
I do, but I really shouldn't.
Go on.
So I'm not going to.
You notice obviously that he's again his eyes are always moving. So even when he's sitting with you can if you observe him, you see that he's checking out everybody in the place. As he's eating, drinking his coffee, his eyes are kind of, and you can sort of sense the intelligence from him. But he's pleasant if slightly standoffish company. And once you've all finished, he pays the bill, and he says, "Well, my friends, let's proceed." So he leads you out, and again, you walk a couple of streets, and again, it's early. It's sort of early evening. It's December, so I guess by this point the gas lamps are on, but the streets are still busy because again, Vienna's it's a bustling metropolis of the era. But he leads you through streets very confidently. Again, this is Sherlock Holmes, right? So I'm sure he's probably memorized maps of the city, and he walks you through the streets of Vienna. And I'm just going to flip over here. Yeah, so just to give you an idea of, again, this is more of a daylight picture, but you get the idea. So he walks you through the streets, and he brings you in front of he stops outside the front of a 3-story building, and from the sign above the frontage, it is this building is the offices of a import company called Transylvanian Toys. The building it's made from brick. It fits in obviously with the decor with the buildings around it. You do notice that all of the windows appear to be barred, and the doors are wood. And you see that there's a slate roof, and you suspect that the roof is probably, lead and copper. But it's a nondescript office building, typical of many businesses in Vienna at this time.
Do the barred windows stand out? Are other windows barred on other buildings?
No, most of some of the windows around are equally barred. I mean, you suspect again it's probably just a security measure again.
Yeah. The glass would have been
the building sits very comfortably in its surroundings.
Yeah.
Again, there are other businesses around, and if you look around, you can see that some of them have the same or similar barred windows. Again, nothing really jumps out at you. There's light coming from some of the windows. Again, as I say, we're into the sort of early. I guess we're into the early evenings, and I guess it's December, so it will get dark relatively early.
Steve, this is the address in the notebook, is it?
Yeah, exactly. So this is the building he's taken you to.
Yeah.
And again, the building isn't described in the notebook. If you look at the guy's notes, it's not described as Transylvanian Toys, but the address matches.
Okay.
It'll be Wilhelmstrasse or something. I'm not going to make up a Austrian name for a street, but it's something Strasse. And yeah, you look around, and this is definitely the place that the guy gave you the address to. Now, obviously, you don't know what happened to the other two that escaped, but at the moment, the building looks nondescript. Again, there's plenty of people in the streets. There's carriages, clopping by. Plenty of pedestrians. So Holmes draws you to one side and says, "How do we feel is best to approach this situation, my friends?"
I think it might be wise to check for a rear entrance before entering the front. The front, was it? Are people walking in and out of it? Does it closed up? Does it look inviting for off the street walk-ins?
So there is a door. There you have not seen. So as you've, let's say you see in that image where the statue is. Let's assume you've probably you've just kind of you're holding there, just observing it for a few minutes. Just again, as you say, just to see what the feel of the place is. Right, guys, I'm going to put you on mute just for a minute. I'm going to locate. You just take 5, and I will be back with you very, very shortly.
What's the plan then? What do we do?
Well, the first question is, what is a company called Transylvania Toys, which is obviously not, Transylvania's not in Vienna.
Don't they make those little rabbits?
They do.
Didn't Steve say they were like an export or import company?
Yeah. Just an odd name, because obviously Romania is in next country along. Seems an odd name.
Yeah. I mean, the name stands
out.
Well, I don't know that it's odd. If they import and export, then I don't think it's that odd that it's not.
Might just be the Nintendo of the Victorian age.
Mm-hmm. So I can turn anyone invisible, and you can go in, or I could astral project myself to go in. But it'd be better if I turn one of you invisible, or I turn a couple of you invisible to go in.
Or we could just go in.
Or just go in at night, smash the door in.
Or
is there a market nearby?
I'm not running the game.
It on the picture, but I don't know if that's...
I'm just going to grab some garlic.
Oh, never be too careful.
There you go. So in the chat, that's everyone rendered as in what ChatGPT thinks is your costume as a Victorian.
Okay.
Everyone but you. Where's you?
Did we go to the Salvation Army to get the clothes?
Probably. That some of them a bit. Yours is a bit iffy. That's double denim.
I was gonna say it's double denim.
I mean, it's
denim suit.
That might not be a denim jacket.
No, that's denim. That's definitely denim.
It's definitely denim. Definitely denim.
Yeah. If I try to have a look at that on my phone, is it going to disconnect me from voice chat?
I don't know. Worth trying.
Hello, I'm back again. Sorry about that.
I'll put them in Messenger afterwards. I'm going to do Anira next.
Oh no, I can see it. Oh, fabulous.
Yeah, those are really cool, aren't they?
From the denim.
You know what? I'm pulling off that double denim. I don't care what you say.
That's right. Double denim is not an easy thing to pull off. And if I have to say,
you just come from Paris and it's a new look. They won't know.
It's a new look.
That's right.
I was never in Paris.
No, you wouldn't know. You were never in Paris. Right. Okay. Yeah. Back in the room. So, okay. So as we said, so the front of the building. Again, you've been observing it for a few minutes, or for as long as you want, really. And yes, you haven't noticed anybody coming or going. As I say, there are some lights showing, so there seems to be there's signs of life. But basically, there's a front door, and the door, as I say, there is a sign above the door saying Transylvanian Toys, and yeah, Holmes is like, well, how should we approach this?
Well, while everyone else was debating, I went to the market and bought some garlic.
Oh, good shout.
And by bought, I just picked it up off the shelf and walked away with it because I don't have any Viennese money.
Pretty money.
Good idea. Right. So you say you've got the front door. Yeah. How do you want to go? So I mean, Holmes is
just
just
knock on
what
the
I, you
door.
know. Well, perhaps perhaps the frontal approach is called for. Allow me, and he walks to the reception, to the door, and he walks in, and as you walk into the room, and you're in a small reception room. There's a desk, quite a tidy looking wooden desk, and behind it there is an elderly woman, looks to be essentially a receptionist, and you can see so she's sitting behind the desk, and she looks up as Holmes walks in, and her eyes kind of dart across the four of you along with him, and you clearly, you can see the alarm in her face as she takes in the five of the group in front of her. But and again, it's not a large reception space, so it's quite you're quite sort of crammed in there. Now you see to the right of the room as you walk in, there is a metal staircase which leads upwards, and then you can see down to there's a door to your left as you walk in, which presumably leads into other areas of the building. But again, she's the only one who's visible. And again, there seem on the wall behind her, there's a calendar for December 1899, and she has what looks like a telephone in front of her, and she sort of looks up and she says, good evening, meine Herren. May I help you? And Holmes,
yes, I'd like to buy some, please.
He says, yes, I'd like. Sorry, go on.
We'd like to purchase some toys for my nephew. Just before I've said that, I've said to Benji, become the boy again. A bit more eloquently than that. Can you show your form as the boy again, and then say, "We've come for some toys to collect some toys for my nephew."
So you sort of maneuver him round from behind you in a very odd manner, because again, bearing in mind he can't actually move, but you kind of just put him on the. And yeah, so to her point of view, it appears as if this small child has sort of appeared from behind you, bizarrely with a balloon that's sort of, again, wafting slightly in an imaginary breeze. But she seems very confused by this. But she says, "I'm afraid we are closed for business, gentlemen. But perhaps if you would like to." I
think you've misunderstood what I say to her. I think you've misunderstood me, and I'm going to put my hand on the table and take it away and leave the aluminium coin with the triangular head with the eye on it.
I'm also going to shout out, "Where's the Turbo Man?"
The Turbo Man. Another good Schwarzenegger reference. Well done. Very good. Yeah, excellent. So she sees you pull out the. That's funny. Your Anorian looks no different.
No, I think. Hang on, I've uploaded the wrong image. That's why it looks no different.
I was going to say that Anorian image is exactly the same as the one that we used before.
No, I've uploaded the wrong one.
Okay, right.
Yes, I've uploaded.
Right, so
it's just Anorian's arrogance, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that said, he doesn't look that different.
Okay, I can't wait now. I can't carry on until I've seen this image. Now you have to upload it immediately.
Yeah. We're uploading one line at a time.
Absolutely.
I've got like 15 things open.
Here it comes. Here it comes.
So I'm doing it on the computer, transferring it through Drive onto my phone. Because
you're just winding me up now.
There we go.
Okay, so this right. So the woman behind.
Incoming.
No, it's not there. Is it? Oh, there we go. Oh, I mean, yeah,
It's
that wasn't worth the
exactly
wait, was it?
That's like no. That's
I will be honest. I think it is a better image than the other one.
yeah.
I think I will use that one, but yeah, it is essentially the same, isn't it? But
Yeah, he just looks a bit more. He's put on some weight.
You've got
a bit of
less,
age as
less
well.
armor. You've
Yeah.
just got a
Yeah.
No, he
tunic
looks cool.
instead of
Good
your
image, though. I like it.
bronze plate.
Double denim
good,
boy
though.
looks good. I'm trying to think who he looks like.
Double denim.
What?
Is it not Chris? Oh, the guy who played Star Lord. He looks a bit like him.
Oh yeah, Chris Pratt. Yeah, he does a bit.
That's it.
Anyway,
Oh, no,
at the risk
double
of being
denim.
distracted,
Sorry, it looks like a
but those
Pratt.
are great images as a piece. They're actually really good images. I like all of those. But my favourite is definitely Hyde with the spikes coming out the top of his top hat. That's
Awesome.
genius.
It came out really
That is
well.
absolutely
Yeah.
genius. Okay, so in the office, you see this woman is thrown by this whole situation, and she goes for you see her pull out from under the desk a pistol. So what we're going to do is we're going to get you to roll initiative. Now again, she's slightly outmatched here, but again, it clearly is a combat situation. So can I get one of you please to roll a d10, and I'm going to do the same. Okay. So I rolled a 4. We'll go with we got a tie there, didn't we? We'll go because the best roll, you got 4, I got 4, was the highest. So let's just roll again because we want to one of us have a clear roll. So again, one of you just go again. Okay, let's do it again.
Someone else do it. Someone else do it.
I got a 3. Anybody?
I did click it. Nothing happened. Here it comes.
Go and have another go.
3.
I can't believe it. What are the odds?
Ooh.
Right, let's try again. Okay, I've got a 3 again. Unbelievable. A 4. Okay, there's a difference. That'll do. Right, so you get 1 frame advantage. So again, all of you see her pull out this weapon. It looks like a Derringer or the like. It's a small pistol. But she pulls it out, and she clearly knows how to use this weapon because she pulls it up and is aiming it. She's aiming it at Holmes because he's the nearest to her. And you see her other hand seems to be reaching for an alarm of some sort under the desk. You see her pushing something under the desk, and she pulls out a pistol. So Captain Sonar, get the. Sorry, go on.
That had no effect handing over the coin with the Illuminati badge on.
Well, other than for her to react by pulling out a gun on you, because she clearly knows that you're not part of the Illuminati, the club. Because she
all right, Treacle. All right, Treacle. I'm totes with the gang.
Yeah, she's not buying it.
I'm
to the point that she sounded the alarm and pulled out a gun.
You call ourselves?
We're Captain Build-A-Bear and his mates.
So, Captain Sonar, you're first to go. You've got the advantage. You've got 1 frame, and again, you can do whatever you want. I mean, I'm going to say in a frame you can. Yeah, that's a good point. You'd probably have to. I mean, let's have a look. So on the map, you're probably only 2 or 3 meters away from her, but you'd have to use your frame to move to get closer to her. Now, obviously, you could also. The problem is you haven't really got anything you can do in a frame unless you wanted to spend a frame.
Can I punch her in a frame?
What you could probably do. Let's have a look.
Can I borrow one from the next? I mean, she's an old woman. I just want to give her a backhand.
Yeah, I'm gonna. No, that's right. No, exactly. You can do that. You can take a frame in advance. So yeah. So what you can do is, if you want to, you can just use 1 frame to move because your movement is 5 meters, I think, isn't it? So you can you can easily close the distance with her in 1 frame, and then you can just give her I guess you'd probably I say an open hand strike because she is still an old woman.
Yeah, she's an old lady. I'm not like clenching my fist. I'm not trying to kill her.
And she has pulled a gun. She has pulled a gun on you, but again, I think a good a brief strike would probably be enough to take her out because again, she's not superhuman or anything. So what I'll do is I'll get you to So I'm going to say she's got a DC
I'll probably
of
trip over and shoot myself in the face.
No, you're all good. You've got a DC of 11. She's got a DC of 11. You've got a hand-to-hand weapon class of, I think it's 2. Yeah, 2. If you're using your fist amplifier, you're going to use your fist amplifier.
Yeah, I was.
your
She hasn't got it
cybernetic
done.
hand. So.
Stove
Right,
her
so
head in.
you've basically got a roll. As long as you don't roll a 1, because you've also got the element of surprise, because again, she's, you know, you've moved straight over to her, and so as long as you don't roll a 1, then you will hit her. So it's a D20. That's okay. No,
I've overdone it.
Overdone it. She crumples to the
He
floor.
comes flying out.
Punch through her face.
her head goes flying back through the wall. Okay, so okay, that's a critical hit. So what you can do is I'll get you to roll on the critical hit table because it's fun, but we'll see how we go. So just roll a D10 for me. That's a 6. Okay. So it says you hit a foe's nerve center. So basically that attack would normally do extra hits to coat. I mean, essentially, it doesn't matter. You sort of step across confidently. You give her and she just literally is unconscious. The gun drops from her hand, and she slumps across the desk. And Holmes sort of turns to you and he says, "I say," he said, "I had the situation in hand. I know Aikido, don't you know? Never mind, effective. However, it seems to me that she sounded some form of alarm, so I suspect our presence here is known. We should be cautious." Okay, so now you
She
don't
managed
hear
to
an
hit the
alarm.
alarm, did she, Steve?
Yeah, she went for the button. Yeah, she managed to hit the alarm. Well, as far as you know, you don't hear an alarm, so you suspect it's a silent alarm, or it's not ringing throughout the building, so you can't hear bells sounding all through the building. But as you are sizing up the situation, to your left, a door opens and a rotund-looking man in a tight-fitting, slightly dated business suit comes out of the room, and he's wearing very small pince-nez type glasses on the end of his nose, and he sort of looks you up and down, and he looks at the elderly woman. He says, "My goodness, what has happened to Frau Schmidt?" Because
she fainted when she saw our friend wearing trousers.
My goodness, we must call for. I must call for a doctor. And he says,
"We haven't got this yet."
That's funny you mention it.
My associate here with the cricket bat, he's a doctor.
Well, so's Dr. Holmes. Well, I mean, Dr. Holmes is an actor.
Yeah, I mean, he said, but this guy doesn't seem to be. You're not. This is confusing slightly because he's not. He's reacting with concern for her, and he, as I say, he sort of rushes across the room and to her, and he says, "Gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid you will need to leave. I need to phone. I need to contact medical help for my colleague here. Please wait outside." Or
I'm afraid
at the very least,
I'm afraid that's not possible.
And then backhand him.
Okay. What do you want to do?
We'll just go through the whole building, backhanding people, open palms.
Yeah, just like, yeah.
Have any of you got like a stunner or anything? I don't think you have you?
I haven't.
Why can't Can I grapple him with my?
Oh, you certainly can.
fist?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Can you say,
Yeah,
"I
of course.
see you"?
I see.
Nice to see you. Chill out.
Just gonna be like, everybody chill.
Yeah,
what you could
do it.
is you got a sonic strike, but instead of pumping all of the using all of the attack, if you simply clap your hands together and give it a 1 dice, that should knock him back a bit, and that's the best thing we've got for a stunner, isn't it? Pump it all in, hits
Yeah,
the
you can do
coma,
that.
and
Or pump it all
just
into
slap
hits
your
the
hands
coma.
together.
Yeah,
But
you could do
just
that.
do one. Don't do a huge attack. Just go bang, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's fine. You could do that. That would work. Again, I'm going to be fast and loose with the kind initiative rules because again, we're sort of in and out of combat because again, he's not trying to attack you. He's rushed over to his colleague. But yeah, you certainly could hit him with an ultrasonic attack. But if you simply funnel the damage into hits to coma, then it will act as a stun weapon because again, any successful attack with a superpowered attack on these sort of normals will essentially take them out, but it as in it will knock them unconscious. So yeah, you can do that if you want. Again, if one of you wants to, you can give him a whack, but either way is fine with me. Clearly, you want to try and get further into the building, so you're probably going to have to take him out.
All right, well, let's do it. Let's one dice, and as I do it, I shout, "Here comes the boom!"
Right. So, do you want to? So, what you're going to do is you've got a weapon class 3. Again, I think with all of these, let's see, you've got weapon class 3. So he's again going to have a DC 11 or so. Again, yeah, I mean, you need to roll. Basically, it's a 4 or better, but you're behind him and he's unaware. So, basically, yeah, again, it's a 1 or better. Yeah, as long as you don't roll a 1, then you will you hit him. Okay, that was unexpected. Okay, so you aim your sonic stunner at him, and through maybe because he's bending down to tend to his colleague, but you kind of let off this kind of like wow attack with your thing, which kind of goes over his head and it rattles the metal staircase. And he kind of looks up at you and goes, "Who the hell are you people?"
I turn to Son and I go, Alex, it's all about the bass.
It's what?
It's all about the bass. If you went woo too high, the bass. Famous Arnie side gig. That was.
I think one of you will probably have to just whack him. Because again, you can no. That's not no. You can try hitting him again.
I'll let someone else have a go.
Yeah, I'm not going to go through again. We're not using frames and that at the moment. So no, somebody else have a pop at him. Wouldn't it be funny if he's like the most? If every one of you misses him and
do you remember?
We're rolling ones. We won't be able to do anything. This guy will be invincible.
Do you remember that? Steve, do you remember that goon on the island, that German that none of you could actually hit, and he was just a goon, and you were all the Justice Associates? They couldn't hit him at all.
Yeah, I do remember.
It was so funny. It's like yes.
Yeah.
So I'll have a pop. My strength's 9. That's weird.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. So again, Fistfoot, you've got weapon class of 2. He's got a DC of let's say 11.
14.
So yeah, you easily hit him. Basically, yeah, that's enough to knock him out. He looks up. You just sort of give him a bit of a love tap, but he drops to the ground unconscious. Again, despite the rattle of the sonic weapon, but basically at the moment there's no one else visible. So again, as I said, to the left of the there's a door to the left which seems to lead into the building. You've also got stairs going up. So it's up to you which way you want to go. What I'll probably do for next time is I'll knock up a. Say again.
Are we supposed to be looking at a map?
No, I haven't got a map for this yet. I will have one ready for next time. I mean, basically, this.
I was having problems.
No, I haven't done a map yet. Like I say, this is very simply just as I say. So you're in a room. There's a desk in front of you. The older woman is slumped over the desk. This guy is now slumped on the ground. To your left, there is a single door which leads into what presumably is the rest of the building. There's also a staircase to your right, metal staircase going up. It goes up, and then you can see that obviously goes up to the upper floors of the building as well. So your choices are basically, examine the ground floor, or you can head upstairs, or you can split up and, if some of you want to go and check out the building, it's up to you. You're kind of committed now, though, because now that you've knocked these two are now unconscious, so now's a good opportunity to explore further.
I'll turn to Holmes and say, Holmes, where have you got any evidence as to where we should be looking? Where would you deduce is the best place to look?
He says, well, my assumption would be, if this is indeed a stronghold of the Illuminati, it would be logical to assume that they may maintain a legitimate business operation as a cover. So one would assume the given this gentleman's disposition, pointing at the chap on the floor, and the fact that he seemed to be unaware of the true nature of what is going on here, one would assume that he would be that perhaps the lower floors may be legitimate business, whereas we may assume that the Illuminati may be operating either on the upper floors or perhaps in a basement even.
We've just knocked out a
Clearly,
muggle.
clearly this
bad
woman, clearly the woman here, is involved in the conspiracy in some degree, though. Given the way she reacted to the sight of the medallion, so I would suggest we press on. My thought would be to perhaps head upwards, but we could also. It's also conceivable for us to split into smaller groups. You all seem individually to be very effective, so perhaps it would serve us well to separate into two groups. Perhaps one to examine the ground floor and any lower floors, and the rest to proceed upwards. But I suggest
that's
we
an
do so quickly.
NPC suggesting us. That's an NPC. It's suggesting that we split the party.
What could go wrong?
Yeah.
The choice is yours. However, again, I'm happy for you to proceed. However,
should we go up
however
first?
You want to
because should we just stay together and go up first, because it slightly makes exposition that makes it slightly easier for.
Yeah, sure, no problem with me.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, cool. So the also worth noting that the building is obviously the interior is lit with gas lamps. So you see there are gas lamps on the wall. I should point that out because obviously, as I mentioned, it is later in the day, so it is sort of getting dark. It's dark outside, so they have lamps, but they're gas lamps. They're not electric. Just as a point of interest.
Before we set off, I say, shh, everyone, shh. Face straight. Can you hear? Face straight. Can you hear anything?
I'll listen.
Listen. Because obviously you've got it's sight and sound, isn't it?
So right, face strike. You can hear people moving about throughout the building. Again, you're hearing, although it is far better than the average. So you can hear footsteps throughout the building. You can't really tell whether that means anything significant, but there are definitely people scattered throughout the building. You also hear on this floor. So the nearer sounds, all you can hear is you can hear what sounds like possibly a couple of typewriters going.
Okay.
Again, there seems to be sounds of work. Again, you don't know what else is on this floor, but you can hear that. You don't really hear anything sinister. You can't hear an alarm, put it that way. So you're not hearing an alarm, but again, you are on the ground floor of a 3-story building, so it's likely that you can't really hear anything, too clearly from above. But you can certainly hear footsteps moving about. But again, that could just be people going about their business. It doesn't necessarily mean anything sinister. What I was going to say was for next time. No, all I was going to say is for next time I will make up a map. We didn't really need it for this one, but I'll make up a map for next time. But I'll keep it blank just so that we can use it to move around on. But I'll try and guide you through it old school for now. So, Right, sorry, Kevin. You were saying
Well,
look to look at
I'll
the
relay
desk.
this back.
Yeah. Looking under a desk, is there an obvious lever or an alarm that she's pulled?
Cool. Yeah. So you examine the desk, and indeed there is a button underneath the desk, which she, as far as you could tell, she pushed. I mean, obviously she's not holding it now, so it's hard to tell. But there was a button there that she'd reached for. A quick search of the drawers doesn't reveal any other weapons. You do, however, find you find a couple more of the tokens. You know, the Illuminati tokens.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So whether that means that she
Let's put
takes
them
them
in
off
our
people as they
pocket.
come into the building, perhaps, or. But
We might need
anyway,
them
the point
later.
is,
It'd be like the
yeah, it's
Continental.
good idea. Certainly, you
And
can
these are
take them. There's
aluminium.
nothing-
So these are aluminium, which is really rare in 1899.
Yeah, exactly. And again, symptomatic. That's the word I was looking for. Symptomatic of the fact that the Illuminati, have access to, relatively high technology and scientists for the time, if that makes sense.
So that's the other thing we're looking for, and I will mention this to because we've told Holmes that we're chasing a monster through time. So the other thing to look out for is anachronistic items, stuff that
Excellent point.
from Holmes's perspective look too futuristic, or from our perspective, Holmes' perspective that they look out of space, out of place, and from our perspective they look like finding an iPad in her drawer or something. They look wrong. So anachronistic, and that would give us an indication that a creature from the future that's gone back to the past that's trying something nasty is here. If that makes sense.
Yep, that makes total sense.
So any degree of any technology we find, you want to kind of point to Holmes and go, is that normal kind of thing? So obviously the obvious stuff, typewriters and whatnot, but the machine guns, are they normal for this time frame? Is that where we're going to find the anachronistic? Is that so? Going back to the machine guns. So Holmes, the guns the guys had, does that look like it's of this time frame?
Hang on a minute. I'm just having a little look because I don't know the answer to that question.
Before you describe them as just automatic pistols that would have been from this time.
The broom-handled Mauser is about the 1800s. The Sturmeier, which is
the automatic machine gun was invented in 1884 by a gentleman called Hiram Maxim. So the Maxim gun.
Yeah.
But
not the handheld
now,
one. That's the Maxim gun. The big tripod thing.
I think the Mauser was actually a bit later. So because again, although the automatic weapon was in 1896. Okay, fine. So that's fine then. So that's contemporary.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, the Mauser. Yeah. So it says it was one of the first commercially successful and practical automatic pistols. So fine. So Holmes confirms that the Mauser, which is what they are they're not unusual. I mean, they're expensive, but they're not unheard of. Like I say, they're not common. The common criminal, if you like, would be more likely to be carrying a revolver, like a 6-gun at this point. So an automatic pistol is something you would not normally find in the hands of your average thug because it would be way above there.
We all assumed it was Han Solo's gun, therefore we thought it was from the future.
There you go. Well, no, from a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. So actually,
far away.
Past, but...
So at this moment in time, So at this moment in time, we have not seen or found any anachronistic items in the building.
No. However, the two things you've highlighted, what they point to is an organisation with significant resources. So, as you said, aluminium used in the tokens is again very hard to manufacture at this point. And that I guess that probably serves another purpose for them, is that it prevents people from forging them, right? So it's beyond the resources of your average, again, of the your average criminal / police force to be able to fake them. So that's probably one of the reasons why they use aluminium. And similarly with the weapons, again, the weapons are, the weapons are expensive, hard to find, but they're not anachronistic, but they're just, you wouldn't expect to see your average, thug carrying one. He'd be more likely to carry a knife or a revolver or a derringer, like the woman had like a derringer, which again is a common woman's pistol of the time because it's easily concealable. But yeah, so it's a good point, well made. So again, obviously you'll all keep your eyes open for that, if anything that you come across that seems out of place. But for now, nothing is unusual. So you decided you're going to head upstairs, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the staircase it's like a metal staircase going up. So you head up the stairs. Now, as you head up the stairs, let's have a look. Which one of you has got? So right, face strike.
Yep.
Your hearing tips you off. You as you're going up the stairs, you look around and you see a secret doorway open at the base of the stairs. So as you're just going up the stairs, and basically at the bottom of the stairs, you see a doorway pulling in, and from it you see two men come out, and they bring pistols to bear on. They've got Mausers again, and you see them. They've come out of this secret door, and they're lining up to shoot at you from behind as you're going up the stairs. So now we're going to get you to roll initiative again. So if I could ask one of you to roll a d10, and I will do the same. Okay, it's a 1. No, it's so hold on a minute. So that's a 1. So okay, so my guys are going to get 1 frame to act. Now, I don't believe. Am I right, Kevin? I think 1 frame isn't enough to shoot.
No, it's 2 frames to shoot. It's a hand weapon, isn't it?
It's an action. It's a hand weapon. Let me just have a look on the weapons table. 1 action. So it's okay. So they're going to have to use up their. Because they only get 2 frames because they're NPCs basically. So they're going to have to use up their second frame to be able to shoot. So the first one. So there's 2 of them. They've both got Mauser pistols. So what we'll do is, do you have any preferences to who's going up the stairs in which order?
Unfortunately, I think Face Strike would go first, and we would follow maybe 6 foot behind, just because her hearing is better. I think, unfortunately, I think that would make sense. But we are. I
think that's quite fortunate for me because they're coming from behind us.
Yeah, they are. So they're at the base of the stairs. You've gone up the stairs. So you're kind of up the stairs and on the land, there's like a landing going round to your left, which leads up to the next flight of stairs, heading up to the upper floors. So they're at the base of the stairs. So okay. So let's say I'm going to roll a. So let's say 1 to 2. We roll a d10. So you've got 1 to 2 is Holmes. 2 to 3 is 3 to 4 is Hyde. 5 to 6 is Captain Sonar, and then 7 to 8 is Honorin, and then 9 or 10 is Face Strike, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, so that is Hyde, I think, first one, and the second one is going to be Holmes. Okay. So I'll get the first guy. So these 2 have sort of come creeping out of this secret door. So whether they were observing the room or whether they were tipped off by the alarm, you don't know. So the first one is going to have a go at Holmes. So let's have a little look.
Because we've effectively got a speedster on our.
Yes, you have.
Team, so he can move at half frames. Yeah. Doesn't he go
but
first?
Don't forget, they got the drop on you though, because they get the frame of action. Right. So regardless, they're still going to act first purely because they got the advantage over you. But you're right. He can use his super speed. So they've got weapon class 1 verse is Holmes is a. Let's have a look. Holmes is. He is DC 6. So weapon class 1. Okay, so they need to get a. Let's have a look. A 10 or better. Right. So the first shot is fired. They shoot at Holmes. They miss him completely. The bullet goes wide. The second one's going to shoot at Hyde. So Hyde has got a defense class of 6 again. So it's exactly the same for them to roll. Oh, so that's a hit potentially. I don't think you're going to be able to dodge it, Hyde, because you wouldn't have been aware of it. Because obviously, Face Strike might have shouted a warning. Actually, no, that's fair. I think Face Strike would obviously shout a warning to you. So I'm going to give you the option to dodge it if you want to. You've got super speed. You've got super speed though. Actually, no. Okay, let's forget that. You've got super speed, right?
Yep.
Hyde's got super speed. So okay, fine. So I'm happy for you to just be able to dodge it because again, you've got super speed, so you can just dodge out the way without any problem. I don't think you need to roll for that because again, your reactions are so quick. So because she shouted a warning, you simply step out. You just simply step out of the way at hyper speed, and the bullet goes wide. Okay. Right. Yep. So they've used up their frames because they've attacked. So we move over to our team. So we've got Captain Sonar. You get to act first. So over to you. So you've got 2 targets.
There's 2 targets.
2 guys. Yeah, 2 guys at the bottom of the stair. So you're on the staircase. They've come out from a secret door. They've taken a shot at 2 of your team party, but they've missed both times. Both wielding automatic pistols.
Okay. How far away am I?
I'm going to say, so you're probably halfway up the stairwell. So that is going to be, yeah, you're about 4 meters away from them. So again, you can easily, you've got your full frames to act.
And they're on a staircase, right? So we'd be fighting
they're
on
at the bottom of the stair. So you're on the stairwell. They're at the bottom of the stairwell. But you can easily get down the stairs. You're heading up at the moment, or you were heading up. They've come out of a secret door at the bottom of the stairs as you were heading up the staircase.
Okay.
Taking a shot, but like I say, but you've got your full 4 frames of action, so that means you potentially can move 20 meters during your turn.
All right.
And obviously you can use all of your superpowers as you wish.
So I want to run down to the bottom of the stairs and grab the first one and throw him over the edge of the staircase.
Cool. Okay, so it's going to cost you. It's cost you one frame to move that distance because you've got 5 meters. It's 4 meters. So you trot down. You run down the stairs. And what are you going to do? Throw him? Did you say?
Yeah, I'm just going to just throw him over the banister.
Okay,
into
fine.
The ground.
So let me just check. He is a. So you've got a super strength of. Yeah. Okay. You easily. He's got a. Yeah. You need an 11, a strength of 11 to be able to throw him. You've got a strength of 13. You simply pick him up and you throw him over the banister, and he drops to the ground, crumples unconscious. Again, as we've noted many times, any attack from a super against a normal will potentially just knock out a normal person. You don't need to roll for it. You've got the strength to lift him, throw him. You've done so. He basically crumples to the ground. So there is 1 target left. So you've used up 3 frames, I would say, because you've moved, then you've used your superpower. So you can either hold that you can move again, or you can just leave that and let someone else have a pop if you like. It's up to you.
Can I just grab his gun away from him? Disarm him?
Yeah, that's a hand-to-hand attack. So if you want to, let's make it. Let's say, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it's hand-to-hand attack. So if you do a, can you give me a? Let's say it's a weapon. This foot attack. Your hand-to-hand attack is a weapon class 2. They are going to be DC 10. Okay, so can you give me a roll? Just get a. You need a 6 or better, basically, to be able to disarm him. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so your hand, your with your remaining action, your hand whips out and you grasp the weapon away from him. So he's still there, but he's unarmed. So next to act then is going to be Face Strike. So Face Strike, you're up. You've got all of your frames if you wish.
Yep.
I
I
suppose the obvious thing to do is to pop him with the bow, but
Yep. I'm going to do the obvious.
okay. So your weapon class is 4. He's
Yep.
got a DC of 10. He is unaware of the attack because he's obviously face to face with Captain Sonar. So you're going to need to roll a. Yeah, again, it's basically going to be. Just don't roll a 1 because again, you get bonuses because he's unaware. You're above him as well. So yeah, yeah. As long as you don't roll a 1, then you're golden. Lovely. Okay, so you
And can
roll.
I say hasta la vista, baby, while I'm doing it?
You can indeed. Yes, you can indeed. You pop off an arrow, and I mean, do you want to tell me where you want to hit him? It's up to you. I take it you're not going to try and kill him. You want to just pop him in the shoulder or something, or
Yeah, back of his right shoulder.
okay. So again, why don't you give me a? Can you give me a 1? Give me 1d6 first of all for the hits to kill. That's 4. And then can you give me 2d6 for the hits to coma? That's an 8. So you did 7. You did 7 points of hits to kill. Yeah, I mean he's okay. Yeah, and you get +5 to that damage as well. So that's more than enough to take him out. So you pop an arrow into his shoulder or somewhere painful, and he drops to the ground.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Clasping his shoulder, but clearly out of the fight. So where that leaves us is, so you are so you look around. There's no other threats that you can see. The secret door has kind of closed behind them. It's very well disguised. It's kind of seamless with the wall, but yeah, the secret door is closed behind them. So you can continue to proceed upwards if you wish to do so. Is that what we all want to do?
Yes.
Are we going
Cool.
up? Do we not want to know where all these people are coming from secret entrances?
Oh, that's a very
Can
good
do.
point.
I mean, we're
It's up to
going
you.
up, and so far everyone is coming from not upstairs.
Yeah, we should probably at least put our heads around the door or something else just to get somebody else waiting to come out and get us.
Yep, that's perfectly. It's up to you. Yeah, again, you can.
we
Yeah,
stand,
certainly you can.
If we stand quietly, can you listen at the door to see if you can hear anything? Let's go
Do that,
full D&D with this.
Whoa! Oh, that's really irritating, guys. What's happened there? Oh no, it's all right. Don't worry. I thought the recording had finished. No, it's fine. We're all good. Sure, you can do that. So, Face Strike, what you do is you go back down the staircase, and you sort of press your ear up against the door. As I say, it looks like a wall, but you know the door was there because you saw it open.
Yeah.
Actually, I think what you could do, you can, if you feel around you just feel around the wall, and with your hearing, you hear a soft click as you sort of look around, and sure enough, this door opens outward, but it's nearly silent. So again, you hear the kind of a slight, shh as the door opens, but it's very, very well disguised. This door pops open, and you look inside, and basically inside the room that they came from it looks like it's a guard room. Basically, there's a gas lamp on the wall. There's a table, a couple of chairs, and on the table you can see there's a discarded card game. So they were clearly playing cards. And up on the wall behind the door, there is a what looks to be an electric lamp, or it's a lamp. It's, if you imagine like on an old steamer where you would have a lamp in like a metal cage, if you can picture one of those.
Yeah.
So you suspect that when the lady on reception hits that button, then it probably sets off a silent alarm. So in other words, that lamp probably lights to kind of advise them that she needs them. But again, there's nobody else in the room. There's no other weapons that you can see. As I say, there's a couple of chairs, and there is a small window, which you can tell from what you saw of the building outside would be looking out onto the side street. But basically, it's a pretty dingy little room. It's clearly, a hidden room. They keep people in there just as a precaution. But there's nobody else in the room, and there's no other obvious door or anything out of it. It's just literally a small room that they would probably sit in there for a few hours, and there's no like.
While there's access to it, can I just have a quick look out the window, make sure that we're not being swarmed from the outside of the building or something?
Sure, you can do that. You pull over one of the chairs because this window is quite high up on the on the wall. It's like a small, you'd almost like a sort of thing you'd see in like in a basement, like a high window. But yeah, you just pull over one of the chairs and you stand on the chair and peer out. And yeah, sure enough, you're looking out into a dark side street, but there's no. I mean, you can see people on the main street walking past, but there's no sign of anybody else coming in. So they've obviously just got it there for a bit of ventilation into this room because again, it's a sealed room. And there is a slight whiff of tobacco in the air as well. So you suspect one of them probably smokes a pipe or cigarettes or something. But other than that, it's pretty nondescript. Like I say, there's nothing in there apart from a small table and evidence that they were playing cards. And you suspect they probably spend a few hours at a time sitting in there.
Okay.
But there's certainly no sign of anybody else.
Can I break a leg off the table and just carry it with me as an additional weapon?
You can do if you want. Why not? Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, you just again, it's not very it's a small table, so you can just pull it. What's your? I'm sure your strength is sufficient to do that. Yeah, that's no problem. Yeah, it's not a problem. You got a strength of 12. You got a strength of 12, so that's easy enough. You literally just snap it off, and yeah, fine. You head back outside, and the door. If you push the door on the same place, then the door will just slide shut again, and you can proceed upwards. So I think at that point, ladies and gentlemen, we'll pause it there because we're moving off into the building. It's just gone 10 o'clock, so yeah, I think then that's good progress. Well done, everyone. So so you got to meet Sherlock Holmes, and you've just intruded into a secret Illuminati building. So we shall see next time what you discover as you search the building. Great stuff. Has anyone got anything they want to add or remind me about before we sign off for the night?
I won't be at the next one, Steve. I'm on holiday for the next one.
Oh, are you off to? You said you're off to. Are you off to Wales as well?
Blackpool.
Blackpool.
Oh,
Have you
nice.
had your jabs?
Oh. I don't know.
It's up north, so
It's up north.
Yeah, I'm taking all precautions, Kevin. Don't worry.
No, lovely. Well, and I hope you have a great time. If I don't speak to you before. So the rest of you, 3 weeks time. I will, like I say, for next time I will prepare a map of some description just to make it a bit easier for us to get around. And yeah, thanks again for turning up. I always appreciate it. I really appreciate it. I always enjoy these sessions with you. So thanks again. If there's nothing else, I will bid you good night. And Kevin, if I don't speak to you in person before the weekend, I hope you have a fantastic trip to the States. I look forward to seeing all the photos and all the stories. But have a great time. And for the rest of you, we'll all catch up in 3 weeks. Apart from Kerrin, we'll catch up in 3 weeks' time. So thanks again, everyone, and good night.